Hi guys, ladies. Earlier today, I lost a good friend, a brother, my business partner here in the Tool Shed recording studio, Cal Freeman. Man, he's one of the best engineers and producers that's ever come out of Nashville, Muscle Shoals. He's been instrumental in so many superstars' careers, as far as recording them, engineering, but he was also a fantastic steel guitar player. He played on Ray Price's records. You just go Win Stewart. You can just name them on and on. He was one of the best steel guitar players to ever come down the pike. And I was honored about a year and a half ago till he moved down here in South Carolina. And we had the same vision of building a recording studio, like, for instance, like the ones he built in Muscle Shoals, Alabama, and ones he was in Nashville. We actually brought Muscle Shoals and Nashville to Ward, South Carolina. And it was our vision to really grow the studio. We come up with a name of the studio called the Tool Shed. And boy, he was so excited. And we had all the new technology. We got a super fantastic studio here, and his dream and his vision was getting Nashville acts and everybody to come in and record here at the Tool Shed in a little town called Ward, South Carolina, kind of like what he did in Muscle Shoals, Alabama. And so we was all excited, and about 4 months ago, he was sitting right here in this studio, and he started feeling a little bit bad. And of course he said, he was hurting a little bit, but he thought it was a cold or whatever. And then it just got worse and worse, and then he went to the doctor, and the last couple of months he's been in the hospital, and he had cancer, and then he had a stroke. And today, about 1:07 today, he went to be with the Lord. The Lord called him home. And like I said, I guess, they got the best engineer and producer and musician in heaven right now. So anyway, he went home, and I just wanted to go back and just pay tribute to Cal, because it was right after we got set up and we got it wired up and got it all done, and we're sitting in here one night doing some tests, and he was sitting right here at the control board, and Tony Balkman was over here in media, and he was filming him. He said, let me interview you, Cal. And so he interviewed him right here, and that was the last interview that Cal did. And he was excited about this studio. And we're going to honor Calvin Freeman, one of the greatest, right here. And we're going to play this last interview that Cal had. Cal, I love you, my brother. Rest in peace.
Ground floored it before? Being on the ground floor of a studio. What are the challenges of being on the ground floor of building a new studio?
Getting yourself established, getting your sound, whatever your trademark is, established.
And there's studios like Muscle Shoals, studio like Capricorn and things like that. They did have, if you listen to the records that were recorded in Capricorn, you listen to the records that were recorded in Jackson Highway, which you started, as a matter of fact. They have a very distinctive sound. The feeling out process of that, this, I guess, is just very much in the infancy or embryonic stages of that. How do you go about really dialing in the specific signature sound of a space like this?
Cutting hit records. you got to cut hit records. If you can't cut the hit records, I don't care what happens. You ain't gonna have them.
Now, do you? As somebody who's been in the industry since the '60s, right?
A little before that.
Okay, all right. But as somebody who's been there from a very, very early stage, are you able to hear a space and kind of pick up on a unique signature, as it were?
Yeah.
What's the can you describe what the tool shed?
I see music before I ever play it. And a lot of people don't understand that.
I don't. Can you elaborate?
I can't really explain it. I've tried explaining it to people before, but I see a song. I've seen this song before we started doing it. I can see it, and I know where everything goes. And that stuff's not stuff I invented or come up with. It's stuff that's floating out there in the air, in the cosmos, and we're just magnets. If you pay attention, it'll come to you.
I mean, you're basically a wrangler for energy.
Yeah.
That's good.
A creative. You're kind of like a wrangler for creative energy. Wow. Does this compare to any other space that you've ever been in? I mean, in terms of the raw, Muscle Shoals, I've heard it described as between the floors and the ceilings and everything else. I've heard it described as just having a rawness that is
there was
unmatched.
7 major studios in Muscle Shoals.
Yeah, but I mean Jackson Highway.
Yeah. That was just a little building about this size.
Uh huh.
Not much. About this size altogether.
But it had a distinctive sound.
Yeah. Muscle Shoals rhythm section they built it, and they worked there for a while. And when we went into the building is when they went to the big studio down on the river. They bought the Armory, and it was a massive thing.
Which became Muscle Shoals Sound,
Yeah.
and then Fame and everything else just kind of grew up around that, right?
Fame was the first one.
Fame was the first one. Okay, Fame was the first one.
Fame was the first one, and the Muscle Shoals rhythm section was studio work players there. They call them the Swampers.
Swampers.
And then they got crossways with Rick and the guy that had Atlantic Records backed them up.
Wexler?
Yeah,
Jerry Wexler?
he backed them to do their own studio.
Can the Tool Shed produce music that is as iconic as came out of Capricorn, Muscle Shoals, and that sort of thing?
I don't know if it's going to be. We'll be cutting a lot of hits. I don't know how iconic it'll be. What creates the iconic sound is the musicians. The unique musicians that record there, they create the iconic sound.
Now, you've known a lot of musicians in your life. Will the top quality musicians come towards South Carolina?
If we get to work.